Hey, what's going on, everybody? So, today I figured I would share with you my experience in the famous basic training. Basic training. So, for all the future soldiers who have enlisted, for anybody who's potentially interested or thinking about enlisting, um, one of the biggest things that everybody's concerned about or everybody has questions about is basic training. What is going to happen? What are we doing? Is it like I seen in the movies and all that stuff like that? So I'm going to go over my experience in basic training. Now keep in mind, my experience with basic training is my experience with basic training. Just because I experienced that doesn't mean that you'll experience that. And I always have people contacting me, so I'm sorry about that. All right, cool. All right, so we get to I enlist, take the shuttle. For me, I was in South Carolina when I enlisted, and the basic training that I was going to was Fort Jackson, South Carolina. So that's where I went. So just me taking the shuttle ride to Fort Jackson. So we get to Fort Jackson. I spend 1 week in reception. So reception is like the middle ground between before you go to actual basic training. So during reception is when you'll be issued your OCPs, the camo uniforms that we wear. You'll be issued your boots. You'll be issued your physical training uniforms, your PTs, and things of that nature. You'll go to the DFAC, which is the military term for cafeteria. You'll go to the DFAC for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and they'll take you to like the shop at, which is like a store, pretty much a store, that sells everything. And they allowed us to buy. We had a list of things that we needed to have for basic training that we went and we purchased, and then they even did the inventory. Lift up your watch. You had to have a watch. You had to have like powder for your feet, personal hygiene, toothbrush, toothpaste, things of that nature. So, excuse me. So, how the living was in reception. So, of course, the men and women are separated. So all the males, pretty much it was like a bay area or a room. It was a building, and the building had like different floors, and then on each floor it was like a bay, and it was just like a big bay, and it had lockers in there, and it had bunk beds in there, and there was no assigned anything. You just pick wherever you wanted to sleep at, and just make sure you secure your locker with your stuff in there. The showers were open, so you taking a shower, there's other males in there, and I never, I wasn't an athlete, so I don't, it was very uncomfortable. It was very uncomfortable for me at first. I'm like, I ain't feeling that. I would literally wait until everybody finished taking a shower before I went, or I would make sure I got in the shower first before everybody else did. So during the reception, we got our shots to make sure that we was okay, and all that stuff like that. Just pretty much in processing, filling out information, getting briefed on things, and yada yada yada. All right, so a few days before basic training, some drill sergeants came. The drill sergeants that we were going to be with, they came out there and they just was going around talking to us and stuff, and they just seemed very nice. They was mad cool. They was like, "Hey, how you doing? Galashaw? Okay, where you coming from? New York? Oh, that's what's up, man. So, what do you want to do? Like, what are your plans and all that stuff?" I'm like, I'm not sure, sir. I'm doing my spill and all that. He's like, all right, well, that's cool. It was nice to meet you. So the night before we went to basic training, that night before we were officially going to basic training, they had everybody stand in formation, and they was like, if we call your name, we're going to give you get your duffel bag. So we had to pack up all our stuff. So we got all of our stuff in our duffel bags, which are gigantic green bags that could fit all your stuff. So there was they had us bring all of our duffel bags out with us, and we was in a formation. So then after that, they was like, when we call your name, we're gonna give you a piece of tape. You're gonna put this tape on your duffel bag, and you're gonna put your duffel bag in a particular designated area. So there was 4 colors: blue, yellow, red, and green. So you kind of got the gist that what's going on is they're doing a roster for what unit or group that you were going to be with, and the group was going to be by color. So, reception, I made friends, and I was hoping that my people was going to be in the same group as me, but they weren't. I think one was, but everybody else ended up in the blue group. Anyway, so they called my name. I had a red tape, so I had to take my bag, put the red tape on it, and I had to put it with all the other red bags with red tape on it. So then they just kept us out in formation, and I remember being out in formation for hours. Like, they kept us up late. I think we was like up until like 12, 1 in the morning. Finally, they released us to go ahead and get some rest for the next day. And I think they did that on purpose to make sure that we wasn't energized for the next day. I think it's a tactic. I'm not sure. So next day comes, we go to breakfast, and then we're in the formation again, and the buses come up. So now you getting nervous. You know, you're getting nervous because we've all seen the movies. We all have our stereotypes and our idea of what drill, basic training is gonna be like and how the drill sergeants are. So they was like, when we call your name, you pick up your bag, you shout out your last name, and you get on the bus. So everybody picking up their bag, and as they're doing it, drill sergeants are like commenting on if they like the energy coming from the person who shouted the name, or if they didn't. And I think when it was my turn, they wasn't really feeling when I shouted my name. Like, nah, you could have did better than that. So we get on the bus. You got your gigantic duffel bag on your lap, and we're riding. So I think the ride was like 30 minutes, but to me it was quick. I feel like as soon as we got on the bus, we got off. So this was like the quietest bus ride I have ever experienced in my life. Everybody, you're looking around, everybody's just quiet. Some people look calm, some people look chill, but overall, everybody looked nervous. So everybody's quiet. We all on our duffel bag or whatever, and we just it's gonna happen. So we finally pull up. Anxiety is just all the anxiety. What is about to happen? So you see nothing but drill sergeants, like they all huddled up. All you see is those famous hats just out in the circle, waiting, like right at where the bus is pulling up at. So the bus pulls up. Drill sergeant gets on the bus. He has a huge grin. He was like, hey, everybody. He was like, welcome to Fort Jackson. Now get off the bus. And he went off. Go, go, go. Everybody get on. So we get off the bus. We're scrambling. We're running. We get off the bus. As you're getting off the bus, it's like a shark. They call it a shark attack. It's like 8, 9, 10 of them. They all in your face screaming. You don't know what's going on. Like, it's just, they everywhere. One person telling you to do one thing, the other one telling you to do something else. You confused. Next thing you know, they made everybody drop. So it was like, front lean rest position, move. So they smoked us. So for those of you who do not know, smoking means that you're doing some type of physical exercise until you can't do it no more for the most part. So they made everybody drop down. We had to do push-ups. And I think they only made us do like 15 push-ups, but it was in cadence. And but at that time it felt like forever, and I feel like I couldn't do it. And as I'm doing these push-ups, and the dirt and the smoke is rising because of everybody dropping down to the ground, and I'm doing all this, first thing that popped in my mind was, what did I get myself into? So I'll leave it at that for right now. But yeah, that is part 1 of my experience in basic training, and I'll continue on with this. Y'all have a good day today.